Okay, this is the parking lot, I guess, or some shit. I don't know. This is amazing. You know, there's tunnels like this all over the United States that the government makes. Okay, here we go over here. This is amazing. So, in part of the caves here, we have an amusement ride where children test their dexterity, I guess, and climb across these mazes. There's a zip line here. And this young man, how old is he? 10 years old. He's making his way across. Buckled himself in, and he's having fun, hopefully. Now, as you guys know, I'm usually pretty lucky in timing things. So the bad news was I was an hour early for this tram ride. But the good news was I met a family of 4, and I made them all fantastic. So that's the good news. You got to look at the bright side of everything. And this is the tram I'm going to be on. And I'm looking forward to going into the biggest cavern I've ever been in Louisville. So everybody, here we go.
So what they don't tell you, yours truly, Don does.
There you go. So 11 years working here.
Yeah.
Is the air down here better than, is it really clean?
Well, let's just say it's constantly 60 degrees.
Okay.
We do get some dust.
And this is a limestone cave, right?
Yeah, it's an old limestone cavern. We can use the moniker Cavern as we got more than one entrance and exit. Where Mammoth Cave usually had one. So that's why they called theirs cave and we called ours Cavern.
Oh.
So
what's the other one? What's the other cave you said?
Mammoth Cave.
Mammoth Cave. Where's that at?
Mammoth Cave City, Kentucky.
Oh, Kentucky.
It's about 90 miles south of here.
Oh, okay.
So that's a famous national park.
What about there's one called a moniker or something like that? A cave?
There's plenty. There's Carlsbad Caverns. There's a zillion of them. Here we got Indiana Caverns up in Corydon, Indiana. It's not too far from here. Come around this way, baby. We got the Ruststone Quarry. There's about 40 miners that operated the property, and most of the limestone that mined out of here for that period was used for railroad projects. Now the miners did leave us 223 of these things. They're called pillars. They hold up the ceiling. My job as your tour guide, stay between the pillars. Because if you didn't know this, limestone's a hard rock. Is there anybody here that likes hard rock? Oh, I was afraid it was...
You are losing cell phone reception.
In the immortal words of anyone from New Jersey, forget about it.
You'll also notice the lack of stalagmite, and billionaire superhero headquarters. That's because the Willamette Cavern is a man-made cavern, not a natural cave. Natural caves are created by Mother Nature, while the interface we see here today was originally created by aliens who got really lost on their way home and refused to ask for directions. Rose, I don't think we're supposed to tell them about that.
223 of these pillars holding everything up.
That's miraculous. And we're not really sure why you'd want to do that.
Yeah, including Trenton, New Jersey.
The reason this is possible is due to the oceans that came and went over time, which left behind horizontal rock instead of vertical rock. Now, I'm a fan of both horizontal and vertical rock.
Here's the miners.
I think both genres have a lot to offer. Overall, I'm more of an R&B person. Now, it's...
Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, and standing up we have the Hulk, Captain America, Wonder Woman, Black Widow, Captain America, and many, many more. We also keep the flag up year round. Why? We're an American company. Let's keep it that way. So you got to look here to your right. There are 3 sinks, sort of semi-attached to the ceiling, and the third one is about a football field away over there. And for years, there's been a crack, crevice, or joint in the limestone here where water is finding its way downhill from the zoo or underground spring system. So this water goes through limestone, which purifies it. So other than the magnesium in it, you can drink it. But we're going to start in a pond over this cliff.
Solid sun there, Ruby. Well, the limestone from this mine was obtained using a technique called Ruby and guesses.
Mining?
You got it. Specifically, it was mined using something called the room and pillar method. This is where the crew moves forward, up, and down, blasting the rock in a way that they would leave the pillars behind, creating rooms between the pillars. And
More stuff down here. Look to your left. I want to show you some shaggy maned mushrooms. They only grow for a week. They grow to be about 12 inches tall. They pretty much look like a stem with a hand grenade on top of them, and they're white. But when they die, out comes this black inky stain, ink stuff, so they're not edible. And like I said, they just grow naturally because they are fungi. Fungi thrive in the dark. Yeah, I consider myself a fungi too. But anyway, all right. Let's talk about mining again. What do you say? Now, this is when we move right to left.
now, as we mentioned earlier, the miners moved forward into the earth to pull out the rock. But they also went up toward the surface and down further underground. Coming up on your right is a core drill.
Here's they get an underground building permit. That's called government red tape. This is considered the largest green building in the state of Kentucky. This whole 100 acres is zoned an underground building. We go under all 10 lanes of the Waterson Expressway, and there's no permanent living animals in the mega cavern. Though it is dark back here, it is damp, it is dank, it seems like a perfect spot for bats, but with the trucks that come and go, the trucks are loud, bats don't like loud trucks. Meanwhile, Mammoth Cave,
2 million square miles, more than 100 million people living well beyond the destructive range of blast and heat could be subjected to dangerous or deadly amounts of radiation from fallout. Carried upward 15 miles or more by the mushroom cloud, spread laterally by shifting winds at all altitudes, fallout from a single thermonuclear blast could severely contaminate a 60-mile strip downwind from ground zero, 1,200 square miles within an hour of explosion, 4,000 square miles in 6 hours. All of us, even in small towns and on farms, live within fallout range of a likely target. Furthermore, since these targets are often only a few hundred miles apart, fallout patterns can overlap, intensifying the danger. Our efforts now to build a workable radiological defense will pay off richly by helping to deter aggression and by saving countless lives if nuclear attack should come.
Extend far beyond.
Remember, from every other part of this tour is where we are. So during the Cold War, the United States government began establishing fallout shelters across the country to save as many citizens as possible in the event of a nuclear war.
This cavern served as one of those Cold War shelters. The Civil Defense Department compiled an exclusive list of 50,000 people who were allowed entry to the mega cavern to escape nuclear fallout.
you might wonder who had the final say on the list of 50,000. I'll tell you, the Honorable Governor Burt Jones of the state of Kentucky. And here's where you're right. You're going to notice we got some Fort Knox soldiers over there because we're only about 45 minutes from Fort Knox. So we got them in Desert Storm because if we put 1962 uniforms on them, the Moths would have had a field day. So that guy's taking a nap there. It's afternoon nap time. But anyway, so they would have been there. Now the other 40,000 basically would have been people of everyday, you know, people like doctors and dentists and probably lawyers and your publicist, your book publisher, bakers, shakers, candlestick makers, undertakers. Anybody ever tell you what that stands for? Specifically prepared awful meat. Okay, now, this is the rationing system the government came up with for the folks to sign here. Everybody, say hi to Betty. I love Betty. She's ready for a night on the town. In this case, below the town. Looks like she's a little dusty, but she'll do. All right, Betty, 700 calories to spend a day. That'll keep you alive. Pete, you're a guy. You get 900 calories a day. I have no idea what we're going to feed Chucky. Chucky's been radiated, ladies. Did you see his feet? He's a size 11 foot. Unbelievable. All right, now the one thing you got to sustain life to drink is not bourbon, but water. And the water dripping from the ceiling, other than the magnesium in it, is perfectly drinkable if we can eliminate that. But they were taking no chances. They had 17.5-gallon containers look just like this. And when all the water was gone, they planned to use it to do something else. This is a hint. It is the original porta potty. Ladies, you'll notice that I was trained as a youngster. Perfect. Now you can potty like it's 1999. All right. Now, this is my favorite soldier boy. This guy is Sergeant Whiplash. I'm sorry he walked into a pillar sideways, but he goes over to this table. He's going to be beseeched by 6 more cans of Spam or a yellow metal box called the Geiger counter. I want him to pick up the Geiger counter, which we got here, and take a hike towards the exit, because if he encounters any radiation, which you can't see, hear, or smell, this warns you with a noise like this. That means get the heck out of there. I'm not really happy with my Geiger counter presentation. However, if you look here to your right, I'll give you President Ronald Reagan. Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. Reagan said that in 1988. So what does that mean? Well, it means in 1989, Gorbachev of the Soviet Union tore down the Berlin Wall. And by 1991, the Soviet Union broke up, so that was the end of this as a fallout shelter, because we weren't under any nuclear threat from them anymore. Do you allege? Why, that's no lady, that's my wife. Actually, it's not a woman, it's calcium bleeding through the limestone creates the illusion of a woman. The guys in the white suits are not Colonel Sanders wannabes, they're just 6-foot-tall people. We put those in the picture on purpose. Now, coming up on your left is the wonderful world of shadow.
During the holiday season, from mid-November through the month of December, the Mega Cavern is host to the world-renowned Christmas light show, Lights Under Louisville. Lights Under Louisville is the only time when the public has the chance to drive their own car through this for me. Coming up on your left is the only display that will stay lit all year long, and just one of over 900 displays and only a few of the more than 3.5 million points of light that will make up this year's 2019 show. See what it is? It's horses at the Kentucky Derby.
He did it with a man lift. That's the machinery we saw to put up roof bolts. And you can see the pipes and you can see the wires. And you can directly put all these strings of lights over this. This actually burns 24/7 till the first weekend in November. And then Branson comes back, takes all the old lights down, puts new ones on. Now at the count of 3, I want you all to yell out the word wow, and then I'll tell you why. All right, are we ready? 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
Okay. Did you know the word wow is a palindrome? You can spell it frontwards and backwards, it's still the same. So is mom, dad, dud. Ready for this one? Race car, kayak, taco cat, and my favorite of all time, tuba butt. So listen, kids, don't get in a marching band behind a guy that's got a tuba butt, right? So if all else fails, at least you'll remember tuba butt on your way out of here, and the fact that the capital of Arkansas is Little Rock.
Louisville is a
They store all the salt to treat the roads here.
But back in the
That's salt there.
mid-90s, we were still a little wet behind the ears and cold behind the ears. The great winter storm of '94
Kind of hard to see the real magnitude in the dark, but it's quite amazing.
The storm left thousands without power, including me. This is where they come to stop us. So, I have an idea. Oh no, what's that, Ruby? 3 words. margarita party.
We have
We have two of
And thank goodness we're coming to an end.
another Building 51.
That
and
was
another visitor center
too long for me, but it was shorter for you. Hope you all enjoyed it.